my buddy said, we should go do an improv activity. And I said, cool, what's that? Because I was not a theater kid. And we went into a room and we played a various amount of improv games, but we played World's Worst, and I cracked a joke and everybody laughed. And I thought, oh, this is a thing I like. And many years later, not only have I been a trained improver, actor, stand-up comedian, I now do professional talks in which I use my improv skills. We were volunteer coaching a baseball team, and there was a kid on this team who was just me, just 20 years later, right? Quirky, head in the clouds, not terribly good at baseball. And I took this kid under my wing, and we were, the Boston Bad News Bears. I think we went 0-17. But we took the kids out for ice cream once, and he told me how to calculate the volume of the ice cream, and then stopped and said, well, if it was a perfect sphere. And I thought to myself, what am I doing selling travel? I need to be working with kids. I have two major parts of my job, the therapy piece and the talks piece. There's that moment in therapy when you help someone understand themselves and those things click, right? And they realize that to use a common therapy analogy, I'm not a weird horse, I'm a zebra. That they understand that those differences are something intrinsic and valuable. And that's just, that moment never gets old. I'm sitting there in this AP Chem class, and it's just kicking my rear end. And so I said, I'll just study harder. And I studied harder, and I got a 62 on the test. So I said, we'll hire a tutor. And we hired a tutor, and I got a 70 on the test. And talking to the teacher, and she said, I just don't think your brain works this way, from a completely non-shaming perspective, right? But that failure was really the first time in my life there was a thing that I couldn't just work harder and do. That really taught me the lesson that you don't have to be good at everything, which is good because you're not going to be good at everything. And that gave me permission to let some stuff go. You're worried about not fitting in, it's almost certainly because you're trying to fit in with the wrong crowd. One of the things I say in therapy all the time is that if a flower's not growing, you don't blame the flower, you change the greenhouse. So I got along just fine with my peers by doing what they were doing, which in the 90s was playing soccer and watching professional wrestling. Both things I was fine with, but they were not setting my soul on fire. It wasn't until I went to CTY and discovered theater that I embraced being a nerd and embraced having multiple interests. It would have to be Clarity by Zed featuring Foxes, right? That song is a banger. It always gets me hyped. I'm not sure if it fits the professional wrestling vibe, but I don't care. I've never fit in anyway, so why start now?